You've probably heard this question before. Do you see this glass as half full or half empty? Now for me, in my basic personality, I say it's half empty because I'm basically a pessimist, unfortunately. I mean, there's good things about being a pessimist. You kind of count the cost before you do something. You look at the cons as well as the pros when you're making your list. And it's been beneficial in my relationship with my husband because he tends to be more the optimist and I'm more the pessimist. So we kind of balance each other out when making decisions. But maybe I'm not really benefiting myself that much when I'm thinking the glass is half empty. Because maybe I'm cheating myself of some blessings that come with viewing this glass as half full. Do you have that problem? Sometimes you look at the negatives more than the positives. You weigh them heavier than you do the positives. I really should start trying to remember that I can't take care of things myself. Because that's what's happening when I look at the negatives first, when I'm more of a pessimist than an optimist. I'm looking at my resources and analyzing whether I can do the job or meet the need with what I have in my own power. I'm not truly trusting God. I'm looking at what I can do. I've left God out of the equation. I'm also not really being very grateful for what I do have. I'm too busy looking at what I don't have or what I think I need, or I'm looking at the problem. I'm not looking at what God can do. I'm leaving him out of the equation. That's not a good thing. I need to trust God and realize he's given me half a glass. He's given me some things. He's given me some supplies. He's given me some skills. He's given me some gifts. Whatever it is that he's done, he's given me to bless me. He didn't short me by not giving me the other half of the glass. Or maybe not giving me all that I thought I needed. He's given me what I needed. I need to be grateful and thankful. And when I'm too busy being a pessimist or a negative about something, I am not glorifying God. I'm not being grateful, and I'm not being thankful for what he has done for me, what he has provided for me. Paul told Timothy in 1 Timothy that we need to be content. Contentment with godliness, when it's combined, gives us great gain, he said. That's in 1 Timothy 6 through 8. He said, "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and clothing, with these we shall be content." So we need to look at what he's given us as a blessing, and he's given us what we need, and be thankful for it. Be content with it. But beyond that, being grateful for what he's given us, when he's asked us to do something, or we have a need or problem in our life, we need to remember that God's going to use what he's given us, or he's going to supply us with what we need. He's going to take care of us because he loves us. And he's not going to ask us to do something without giving us what we need to do it. Let's look at a story that you probably remember. We'll just do a real quick read of it in Matthew chapter 14, verses 14 through 21. You remember this story. This was the feeding of the 5,000. It says, "And when Jesus went out, he saw a great multitude, and he was moved with compassion for them, and healed their sick. When it was evening, his disciples came to him, saying, 'This is a deserted place, and the hour is already late. Send the multitudes away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves food.' But Jesus said to them, 'They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat.' And they said to him, 'We have here only 5 loaves and 2 fish.' He said, 'Bring them here to me.' Then he commanded the multitudes to sit down on the grass. And he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and broke and gave the loaves to the disciples, and the disciples gave to the multitudes. So they all ate and were filled, and they took up 12 baskets full of fragments that remained. Now those who had eaten were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. Huge number of people. But did you see what happened? The disciples, they had found 5 loaves and 2 fish. They saw logically and with reason that is not enough to feed even the disciples, let alone the multitudes that were there listening to Jesus. Sure, they're correct in that. They were looking at their resources, but what they forgot to do was to look at God. They were not looking at Jesus and what he could do. They were too busy looking at their abilities or what they had to meet the need or to do the job. What they needed to do was to look at Jesus. And what did Jesus do? He took the 2 loaves, or the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and he held them up to heaven. He looked up and he blessed them. He thanked God for them. He started the whole miracle that was about to happen with thankfulness. He didn't throw in the towel. He didn't say, okay, well, let's send everybody home. He looked to God, his Father, to meet the need. He looked at his resources as an opportunity for God to work. A whole miracle happened and everybody was blessed by it. The disciples grew in their faith because of it. And I can imagine there are probably people in that crowd that grew in faith and came to know God through the whole experience. Because those 5 loaves and 2 fish were used for God's glory. When we're thankful and trusting of God and doing what he tells us to do, he can work a miracle. He can bless others through our faithfulness, through our trust, through our contentment, through our gratefulness, through our thankfulness, through our, even if they are little resources. He can use anything for an opportunity to glorify his name. We just have to let him. So what's in your life that you need or feel your glass is half empty? What are you missing? What is your problem? What ministry have you been called to do? Do you have something that's draining you emotionally? Maybe there's a relationship issue that needs help and you don't think you have the mental or emotional resources to help work out that relationship issue. Do you have a ministry he's called you out to do, but you don't feel you have the skill level to do it? Do you have a financial shortcoming and you need some more income, or you need some big medical bill paid? What is it that is your half-empty glass? Start looking at it a different way. Get a different perspective and look at the glass as half full. God's given you what you need, or he'll supply what you need. He's blessed you. Be grateful for what he's blessed you with. Be thankful. Be grateful. Glorify his name for what he does give you or has given you. And watch him work. Look for that opportunity. Be grateful for that opportunity to see God's power come into play and work on your behalf to bless you or to bless others. Let him work out those situations. Let him provide for those needs. Let him give you the skills you need. It's his opportunity to magnify his name out there in the world through you. You're a walking testimony for him, even if it's just something as simple as you're short some money for a bill. Let him provide. Let him provide the income. The thing you need to do is do like Jesus. Look to heaven. Look to God. Be thankful for what he's done for you or what he's given you, and ask him for help. Ask him to bless. Ask him to multiply what you have. And watch him work. I've seen him do that in my life. I've seen him take my shortcomings of income on multiple occasions and provide miraculously money that came from sources I wasn't expecting. And sometimes sources unknown. He always met the need. He can do that in you. I've seen him help me with ministry, things that I did not think I could do. I would not be skilled enough to do. And he's helped me do it. He's given me the ability. Right when I need it sometimes, just right at that split second. I've seen him do that a lot. So, start viewing your glass as half full not half empty.